What's up guys, welcome back to another video on what if Deku had Sun Jinwoo's powers, also known as solo leveling. Now where we last left off, the UA Sports Festival had just ended, with Deku coming in first place, followed behind by Bakugo, and then Todoroki, after beating Tokiyami in a battle thanks to him actually using his fire side. Deku and Elsie, thanks to Elsie's special condition, and Deku, thanks to his unique ability, which is not a quirk, went over to Gran Torino's for being mentored. They had hanged out and trained with Gran Torino, even though Deku knew the training wasn't as effective as if he had trained in a different dimension to increase his level more quickly. Elsie also trained learning more wind magic spells as well as practicing more fire magic spells, and is learning on how to better control using both of them at once to use her fake quirk Inferno. Deku, with the assistance of Elsie, took out the hero killer Stain, and Deku was reprimanded, and now we're all caught up. Deku and Elsie were walking back home. After the events that had taken place, UA wanted to get their students on campus. This way it would be safer for not only the students, but yet everything else as well. Deku thought about this and then looked towards Elsie. Elsie was just calmly strutting around next to Deku. Deku was like, I don't think I should let this happen, but maybe it might be good for her if she does talk to other females and ends up becoming better instated with the other humans here. Elsie saw Deku looking at her with thought in his head, and Elsie's like, Deku? Izuku? Are you okay? She asked in a more pleasant tone, but a slight hint of worry. Deku heard this and he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, my bad, I was lost in thought. What were you thinking about? Well, you know about how we're meant to actually be going onto campus, thanks to the recent uprising in hero attacks like the USJ and the hero killer Stain event that happened. Oh, yes, I know. Well, I was just thinking about your current situation and how it would affect that situation. I've also been thinking about my situation. Oh, and what's your idea? What's going on? What were you thinking about? Well, I was thinking about how I would like to choose to stay in the human world. Deku was kind of relieved, happy, and shocked by this, because that would mean that she leaves behind her father, her clan, everything else to stay here. And Deku's like, oh, okay. But what about your father and your clan and stuff? Elsie replies with, well, you see, my father and my clan are both very dear to me. Very, very dear. That's why I think if I stay in the human world, I can work as a demon-human relationships operator. And Deku's like, oh, she wants to work as someone who can speak on the behalf for demons in front of humans. Okay, that's pretty good. Deku then, understanding her idea, said, well, if you do it, I'll give you my support 100%. Eventually, I'm going to become the #1 hero. And when I'm the #1 hero, you'll have all my backing. And if Bakugo somehow manages to become #1, you'll have his backing too. Okay, Elsie says while smiling. Deku and Elsie return home. Deku tells his mom about how UA wants to put them on campus, and she denies this, which shocks Deku and Elsie both. And Deku's like, and Inko is like, Deku, you have been attacked not once, but twice by villains. Deku's like, but the second time was kind of my own fault because I was purposely searching for him. What was that? Nothing. I cannot permit you to stay in a school that does not care for the welfare of its students. Deku took a deep breath in and out, and he's like, I'm okay. I'm 100% safe. To be honest, I'm probably almost as strong as a pro hero, if not stronger at this point. I can easily take down the regular villain or two. But what about the hero killer Stain? He was just recently apprehended, and he was known for killing heroes. They are professionals. Mom, Stain has nothing on me. Trust me, if you got the actual legal records on who took down Stain, you would see that. And Inko just curiously looks at Deku. And Elsie's like, but, Miss Midoriya, please do understand that this is for Deku's safety. And my safety, too. I don't even want to get started on you. It's even more dangerous for you to go and live on UA. Who knows what they'll do to you if they find out you're not from the human world? Like, what are we meant to do then? And Deku chimes in saying, well, technically, people know she's not from the human world. And Inko's like, yes, I understand. All Might and Principal Nezu know she's not from the human world. But the issue is still there. What about the other classmates? Well, Bakugo knows too. Bakugo knows? Yeah, he kind of ran out of the house. Well, when I was having to give an explanation about her. God damn it, Katsuki Bakugo. Okay. You're still not going. And afterwards, Deku walks into his room and whips out his phone. He's like, All Might, I need you to come here and talk to my mom into letting us move on to UA. And All Might's like, Yun Midoriya, why, is your mother not letting you? No, she says the school is too dangerous thanks to all the recent villain attacks that have been going on. All Might is on the other end saying, okay, I'll be there by tomorrow. Around noonish. Deku says okay. The next day comes and there's a knocking on the door. Inko opens the door to see a man who has blonde hair and blue eyes but seems to be very weak and doesn't seem to be in the best condition. Hello, can I help you? And the man says, yes, hello. I am a worker at UA, and I heard that there was some issues going on with allowing Izuku Midoriya and Elsie Rodheim join or move into, I should more accurately say, the dorms at UA. Yes, I don't feel like my son is safe enough to be moving into the dorms. Madam, I can assure you that he will be safe. He will be protected by me and other teachers. Okay, and just who are you? All Might then buffs up to his buff might form and he's like, hello, I am All Might. And Inko just is seeing All Might in front of her and she's kind of shocked. And All Might says, you see, your son is a very, very powerful hero. Or very powerful student. He could easily take on most pro heroes. Heck, he can probably take on Endeavor just fine without any issues. And Inko's hearing this, and she's kind of shocked, learning that Deku is just that strong. And Elsie will definitely be in top 10 at least. Looking over at the purple-haired girl. And she says, so you know about Elsie, right? Yes, I know. I'm the one Deku called in case of emergency situations happening when he was traveling through dimensions. I've already had a very extensive look at his power. So what is his power? He's been able to summon shadow fiends, but that's all I've seen. And Deku looks to All Might, he's like, you can tell her. Miss Midoriya, I think you need to sit down for this. And while Inko does that, Deku does his running stuff and comes back to the house. And All Might starts explaining, saying, you see, Miss Midoriya, your son has a very unique ability. It's not a quirk. And Inko's kind of shocked by this, because she was just assuming that he just got a lucky random mutation and that his quirk just didn't come on until a very old age. But now she's hearing the number one hero tell her that it's not a quirk. So what is it then? Well, you see, Your son has a unique ability. From what we understand of what he's told us, it's like a video game RPG character. Huh. And so basically he can level up? Yes, exactly. He gets daily quests. Not to mention he gets loot boxes and items. Certain items that he has is the full restore potion that he gets every day. It can heal any wound as well as fatigue, which is very useful in battle situations. But the more important part is his class. What's the class? Well, you see, Deku has a very specific class. It's a class that is specialized to be a little bit more evil, to say the least. And Inko gets kind of worried, and she's like, evil? He's just summoning creatures. Yes, but you see, his class is called Shadow Monarch. Shadow Monarch? What's that? Well, as Izuku had explained, Shadow Monarch is like a rank up class to a class before it. Okay, so it's like the grade 2 of a class, but what's the class before it? Well, you see, the class before it is a class that is known as Necromancy, or Necromancer. So, the creatures he summons are old dead. Inko gets a shocked look at her on her face as she looks towards Deku. She had already seen some of the creatures he summoned, but this is insane. He's been able to do so much and summon so many creatures? Yes. I figured you understood this after you understood that he was able to travel to different dimensions and fight monsters to increase his level. No, I hadn't understood that. Okay, well, as part of the course, that's all I want to really say. Inko gave it a thought for a moment, and she says, okay, you're saying you'll protect them, right? And All Might says, yes, I will 100% guaranteed protect Izuku Midoriya and Elsie Roadham. Okay, then yes, I'll allow them to live on the dorms. Under one condition. And what's that condition? Izuku comes back on Saturdays with Elsie to check in and talk. Okay. Deku kind of slaps his forehead because he's like, well, there goes my Saturday afternoons. Elsie looks confusingly over at Deku, wondering why he had just slapped his forehead. A couple weeks later, Aizawa says that they would be taking their final exam. 2 students will be paired up to fight against 1 pro hero. Deku and Elsie will be teamed up, mainly because of Elsie still not being too well fit in with anyone else other than Bakugo and Deku, which are the 2 personnel that she mainly talks to. She does speak to Uraraka very often, but that's mainly because Uraraka is a very talkative person and ropes Elsie into conversations. But Elsie mainly speaks to Bakugo and Deku. So, Deku and Elsie both end up teaming up on this battle. They have to fight against All Might. Deku tells Elsie, All Might is a very strong and quick hitter. I know he has his power reduced, but under best case scenario, we should be able to maybe beat him. How would we maybe beat him? Well, you see, Noma is the resurrection of Nomu. As you saw, All Might had a very hard time beating Nomu. But that was only made easier when I brought Noma into the mix. So if we have Noma attack All Might, that makes All Might immediately at a disadvantage. Not to mention, when Noma attacks All Might, then me and you both can back up Noma. I can also summon in my mages as well as my wyvern and tank to assist as well, and Ignis. All of these units should be able to easily take out All Might. And Elsie agrees with this idea, thinking that yes, this would be the best and quickest option for taking out All Might. They find themselves in the middle of the city. And out of nowhere, All Might quickly bursts through one of the buildings, punching Elsie away. Deku sees this, and Deku feels slight anger inside of him, but it's not too much. Deku then sees All Might coming out another punch, which he's barely able to block as he gets sent flying back into a building. He summons out Noma, and Noma starts to go and fight All Might. All Might recognizes it as the same resurrected Fiend from the Fiend he had to fight at the USJ, noticing that it has the same quirks as well, being able to resist his punches, not to mention regenerate, and has increased strength. Huh, so you bring out my enemy that was genetically engineered to fight me. Yep, Deku says, but that's not all. Deku also summons Y, Tank, and Ignis, mainly because he has to go heal up Elsie. He doesn't have time to waste fighting All Might. Ignis sends out blazing blue fire, while Tank tries to hit All Might with his ice claws, and Igneous tries to slice All Might, but All Might's able to barely keep up with all four of the fiends. Deku quickly runs over to Elsie and pops open the vial of instant restore that he had saved up from his daily quests and makes Elsie drink it. Elsie drinks it. Elsie wakes back up and she's like, Deku? Yes, Elsie, it's me. We need to get ready though. Okay. I can't remember too much what happened before I got knocked out. All I remember was seeing a fist in my face and then I was gone. Yes, I understand. That was All Might. He sent you flying. But right now we need to prepare to fight him. Elsie looks towards all four of Deku's soldiers, all attacking All Might at once. Deku, are you sure you can do that? Yes. Don't worry, All Might has power restraints on, so he won't be able to really defeat them that easily. Nomu starts to overpower All Might. All Might notices that Nomu is the resurrected form of Noma, and Noma is the resurrected form of Nomu. So, under base understanding, he really can't fight it with these power restraints on. So, All Might takes him off. And he starts to be able to fight almost evenly with Noma. But Noma still has backup from Y, Tank, and Igneous that are all using their attacks at once. Not to mention, Elsie, who had just gotten resurrected, started firing wind blades at All Might as well. And Deku was charging at All Might with his daggers. One can cause bleed and the other can cause paralysis, going off what Deku said. If All Might gets cut with the paralysis one, he's done for. But if he cuts with the bleed one, his timer will be so low that he basically can't even stay in his buff form for much longer. So both the daggers are very dangerous and he shouldn't be hit by them. All Might sees Deku quickly coming. He tries to dodge, but Noma quickly punches All Might in the gut, hitting right on the spot where he got injured, making him cough up blood. He then stumbles back into a leg kick when he gets kicked by Igneous, sending him back into Noma, punching the same spot again, making him cough up more blood. All Might falls to his knees as Deku sees this as an opportunity. He hops on Y's back and picks up Elsie, and he flies out of the gate, rendering Deku the winner. Deku then quickly runs back over to All Might and feeds All Might one of the potions, which heals his wound from earlier, as well as recovers him completely. All Might checks to see if the wound's there, and he sees it's not there anymore. He's like, Midoriya? Yes, All Might? You healed it. I healed what? Never mind. Oh, you mean the wound that was on your chest? Yes, that one. Wait, so does that mean, yes, I can actually go full power for however long I need? That's amazing. I agree. Those potions you have are very useful. I know. I figured I should use one under this situation, mainly because you were in a bad-looking state. I thank you for it. No problems. Deku and Elsie pass with flying colors, not only being able to bring All Might to his knees, literally almost killing him, but was also able to escape easily. Deku and Elsie pass. A couple of weeks pass, and then they get on a bus. They will be heading to a training camp to train. They end up pulling up nearby a mountain where there's a black car. Everyone hops out of the bus and out steps 3 personnel. One is a blue dressed cat, another one is a pink dressed cat, and the third one's a brown male dressed cat, which kind of grosses everyone out. The brown male dressed cat goes meow, which kind of freaks out everyone even more. The blue one tells everyone that on the other side of this forest is the training camp that they will be staying at for the next couple of weeks, and that she wants them to travel throughout the forest to quickly make it to the other side as quickly as possible so they can eat lunch and dinner and have a fun time. Everyone else agrees. They all jump down, quickly starting to run. But Deku notices first that there's monsters. So does Bakugo. Deku's like, there's no reason to fight these guys. There's literally none. So Deku summons Y and tells as many people as possible to get on and hold on tight because Y is going to take them for a ride. Most people get on Y, except for Deku and Elsie, Bakugo and Todoroki, and a few others that have more movement-based quirks and can quickly move out for the ground. Deku tells Y to fly them to the camp. Y does so. Deku summons out Tank, which is his ice bear, and tells Elsie to hop on the back of Tank with him. Elsie obliges. They both quickly, while riding Tank, hurry up throughout the forest, moving quicker than anyone can see. Basically, by the time that they had already got there, it was basically been about 30 minutes, and they had already been there, which surprised even the Pussycats, who got there after them. They all ate lunch and all told some stories nearby a campfire. Deku told the story about how he once met a three-headed dog with Bakugo. How Bakugo him and had to defeat this three-headed dog that was a very vicious dog. Bakugo knew the story was true, but to everyone else it was more of a joke story trying to scare them. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. I'm sorry if this video is short. I can't really tell because I can't look at the time currently. But I'm really tired tonight. And until next time, goodbye.